Huh?
I beat you.
You beat me. Yeah, I had a
I want
feeling
the
you were
answer.
gonna beat me, but I didn't say anything that you were going to.
It made
beat
me feel better about it. Because,
So-
you know,
We always like when the region decides, we go in and we set our schedule for January and December. And, the first week of January, on the 2nd or 3rd of January, they decide to add a meeting. And so here we are, I have training and, let's do it.
Do you need the computer?
12:45 to 1.
I didn't make any copies. Wow, I'm slacking.
oh, Jan.
I know.
What in the world?
I might have copies, just.
I don't need.
You don't need a copy,
Yeah.
okay? Here's 10 and 11.
So you.
It's cold in here.
Okay, I'll turn it up.
I knew I could.
Just today, and it's cold in here.
Feels good.
Are y'all cold?
No, it feels good. I love it.
Okay.
You want to put my coat on? I got a nice warm coat over here.
No,
It's comfy.
I don't like coats.
I don't either.
I had to break out a coat yesterday.
And you're cold natured. You don't like coats, huh? That's a bad deal there.
And I'm not real happy about it. So, I asked my husband when we could move into Florida.
What was his answer?
Uh, His answer was, for how many months did you want to move to Florida?
Oh. Just the winter months?
It would be snowbirds.
He likes the lake
Yeah.
and fishing and.
So
it's
you
all-
could go back and forth. We have a friend up north. He's from Toledo. But he has a place in Florida, and then he also has a place up on Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth. But he's retired, so that makes it a little easier.
Well, state's retired.
Yeah, but you're not.
Um,
Miss.
But I don't think he wants to retire. Not that I couldn't do it.
He just doesn't want to be around you all the time, huh?
I think it's my first.
I'm not sure if that's the way it is. It may be. the
Maybe,
other way.
right, maybe he knows that you don't want to be around him all the time.
It may be the other way, so.
You don't want to listen to it.
Well, no, actually, what the problem is that if I'm not at work, I spend money. And I have very expensive taste,
Right,
so,
that's a bad deal too. I hate that.
So-
I got those similar problems.
it's way cheaper to send me to work
Right, then to let you not go.
than to let me retire and stay home and spend money. Because I like to run the roads.
So you're always.
So running the roads and, the really horrible thing about Branson is there's nowhere to go shopping.
Not good, not
No.
good.
So you have to go to Springfield.
Right.
Okay, or you have to go to Kansas City.
Right, Kansas City even better. Yeah, look there. Now you're rolling.
And that's where she used to live.
And that's.
Right, so you probably know all the good shopping
I
spots.
do know all the good shopping. But in order to be able to go to Kansas City all the time, we would have to buy another property for me to be able to go to and stay at.
Right, because you can drive back and
Yeah.
forth. Who could expect you to have to do that, right?
That of course costs money.
Your daughter just needs to build you a mother-in-law suite or a mother suite in the backyard,
I don't know.
away from the posts.
Yeah, I love my daughter, but I don't.
I
know if
couldn't
wanna be
imagine,
that
I couldn't
close.
imagine staying with my kids.
I mean, I love her to death, but I don't know.
I understand.
You guys don't know this, but I'm actually not a people person.
Yeah.
If you believe that or not, so.
I can see that in you.
Isn't that
When
interesting?
when my neighbors come down the street,
You've got a magnetic personality. People attract to you, but it's not by your choice, I'd say, right? Does that sum it up?
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah. No, I love people though,
Right, you're just not,
um,
you want to do stuff.
yeah, and I'm kind of an introvert and I'm an empath and,
I'm all of those things too.
and so. you
I
know,
struggle with that a lot,
But I mean, it's like,
especially with this, because, this is all new for me. I'm going from, you know, being in my own little farm all the time, 365 days a year, you know, and everything. Now it's the opposite.
Okay, let's talk about real estate now that I'm 35 minutes late and haven't talked about crap since we walked in the door.
It's okay.
Um. Okay, so you guys had your real estate license, you had yours for a while. And I'm glad you're here, thank you for coming.
Sure.
So a couple of things that we wanna talk about is you are self-employed. Okay, so this is not a W-2 job, this is, you don't get a W-2. You're a 1099 contractor, independent contractor, and you are basically self-employed and you own your own business. Okay? So there's a few things that we have to do when we own our own business. The first I will say is, do not run out and get an EIN number and then establish an LLC or a PC or some kind of company, okay? You don't need to do that yet. Until you start making, you know, 60,000 a year plus, you really, there's nothing that's necessarily going to behoove you to go out and set up a corporation or an LLC or a partnership or whatever, okay? So if you do something like that, there is costs that are associated with it. And full disclosure, I am not a CPA, I am not an accountant. If your accountant or your CPA tells you differently than me, then by all means do what he tells you. Or she tells you. But there's costs that go along with having an LLC or a partnership or a sub-S corporation, an EIN number and all that. You have to file, you know, yearly with the state, you have to file with the Fed. You have to, if you're going to be paying yourself, then you have to do payroll requirements and all that good stuff, okay? So I always usually tell everybody, recommend, don't go out and do that immediately. Do not go to the bank and say, I want to open up a business account. Okay, because they charge more for a business account than they do a regular checking account. I will say you do want a separate account for your real estate. That doesn't mean you walk in and go, I'm gonna set up an account for my real estate, because then they're gonna try to do a business account. You just go in and set up another account. And you use that account for your real estate. When you get going and you start making money, then you can go to the bank and let them know that it's a business account, okay? That'll save you on fees. You guys will figure out that I am a do not spend money until you start making money person. Okay, so, Zillow's gonna call you, ask you if you wanna buy, you know, leads every month. I do not believe in, starting out your business with buying leads. I don't think that's the way to go. You know, once you start making money, and it starts coming in and you have a certain amount of money that you can use to buy leads. But that's not your only.
Are their leads legit?
It depends on which company you use. Okay, there's all kinds of.
There's
leads.
some that are and some that aren't.
Correct. So, and some cost a lot more money than others
Are
cost.
those the legit ones?
For the ones that are expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them are. But not all of them, not all of them are necessarily legit.
Right.
Okay, they can't keep somebody.
So you don't go by price, by what's legit or not, right? How do you know what's legit or not?
You try it out for a trial period
Right.
and then see what goes on. Don't ever sign a contract with them unless you have tried them out and figured out, yeah, I'm getting good leads or I'm not getting good leads. And it depends on if they qualify them or not. So, qualified leads are a little bit, they actually make the phone call. And have a conversation with the potential client. And we'll transfer the call to you while they are on the phone. But those don't cost money, okay? And I wanted to say, you don't need to go buy leads. There are a lot of different ways to go find business and to go round it up. versus buying leads. Once your business starts making money, if you so choose that you want to take a percentage of your income and try out and purchase leads, then by all means do that. But I am a lead with revenue type of person. Don't start spending money until you make money. You already have to pay.
Right, it's already so
Right.
expensive to get into it.
They what?
It's already really pretty expensive to get into it, but
Yeah.
from beginning to, yeah.
Now, let's talk about expenses. There are certain expenses that you will want to keep track of on a monthly basis. These things are gonna be tax deductible, they're going to be, you know, they are things that you have to pay for in order for you to be able to do your job. Okay, one of them is your cell phone bill. So your cell, what's going on with the stuff?
nothing, I'm just, nothing, you're fine.
So you guys can't do your job without your cell phone. So that is one of those expenses that you need to keep track of. And I know a lot of you probably have you're on a plan with somebody else, you know.
But that's no big deal, like, you know, my husband and I, we have separate, but we already have an LLC and stuff for our other businesses, so
So you're gonna wanna keep track of
just your charges.
just your charges, but don't forget about USF charges, sales taxes and all that good stuff. So you're gonna wanna prorate that and add it into it. So if your bill's $200 a month for 2 lines, you know, you're gonna wanna go in and prorate it to make sure that you're getting it all of your expense in there. Do you have a question about that, let me know. You also have to have internet access. So internet is going to be one of those things that you're going to want to keep track of. You will want to keep track of all your mileage that you do that is.
What's the best way to do that?
A lot of people use an app. There's apps out there. I'm old fashioned, yeah.
Right.
So I go get me one of those fold up books that has every day on there. And it goes between my console and my seat. And every morning when I get in, I write down my mileage. And every night when I get home, I write down my mileage.
And they're $1.25, like $1.03.
Is it
Yeah.
$1.25 you get for that?
I don't remember, but yeah, I mean, you can get one of those for
For the
cheap.
little calendar?
Oh, no, I thought you meant how much you marked off per mile.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it varies.
Yeah, it's like,
And you'll wanna go in on a quarterly basis, they can update it on a quarterly basis. As far as what the mileage is, last time I checked, I think it was 55 cents a mile.
that's what I was thinking, around 50 cents.
But you can go into irs.gov and Google you know, what's the mileage deduction that you can take. So you will want to keep track of your mileage. Okay, and this isn't just for, you know, showings or listing appointments. I mean, you know, sometimes I gotta go to Walmart because I gotta go get paper because I gotta make up some flyers.
Right.
Okay, sometimes I gotta go to Price Chopper because I'm gonna have an open house and I gotta get cookies. Sometimes I gotta go to the post office because I gotta buy stamps because I'm gonna send out thank you cards.
Can you write off 100% of your miles?
Well, you might get audited if you do that.
So
So I don't do 100% necessarily.
75?
Maybe more. It, you know, it depends. I try to be as truthful as I possibly can.
Right.
Okay. And I will get the day, you know, and I'll start out my mileage and then I will write what I did.
Yeah.
You know, office, post office, Walmart, you know, every receipt that you get, do not throw any receipts away, ever. Don't throw them away. Cause you just never know, you might have to go back and there might be an expense on there that you didn't even think about. I do suggest that you go get one of those accordion files that has every month. Do you have one?
I have, well, 5 of them. But,
Um,
yeah.
So you get one of those accordion files. And then you're able to just go in and put all your receipts in there. By month. it'll make it a lot easier for you to be able to go in and figure it out for your accountant, as to what your expenses were. Okay, so cell phone, internet, if you buy any paper, ink, stamps, gifts, if you're buying gifts for your clients, you can only deduct $25 per household. But if it has marketing on it, so if you buy them something and let's say you buy them a steak knife and on the steak knife you put, Keller Williams Tri Lakes and your name and phone number, that's not considered a gift, that's considered marketing. Okay, so there are different ways that you can work around things. So all of your dues, any dues that you pay to, the Missouri Real Estate Commission, dues that you pay to, Tri Lakes Board of Realtors, your MLS dues, your Super Key dues, all of those are tax deductible. Or your expenses, I won't say tax deductible, but they're expenses.
Right.
If you have an office in the office. If you guys, Christina has an office.
What
in
about
the
an office at your house?
That I'm gonna tell you to talk to your accountant.
Okay.
Okay. Offices in your house can become a red flag. For the IRS to go in and audit you.
So maybe we don't wanna go that route.
So, I mean, that office needs to be designated for an office, it needs to have a door, you need.
Yeah,
to
but you don't
use
want
a-
audited either way, so if it's a red
Uh.
flag. Whether you're legit or not, you don't want a red flag to get
Right.
audited either way. so.
Yeah, I mean, I had an office in my office that was nothing more than, it was only used for real estate, nothing else.
Right.
And my accountant, came in and said, yeah, I don't wanna do that.
Right.
Okay.
Probably isn't worth it anyway, the benefits that you would get out of it, probably not that much, I think.
Yeah. But I'm not a CPA and I'm not an accountant, so if your accountant says you can, then by all means, do what your accountant says you can do, okay? If you wrap your car, that then changes the way that you look at things, so as far as mileage goes and your car goes, if your car is for nothing more than real estate, then you can deduct everything off of there. Again, this is a conversation to have with your accountant or your CPA.
What if you just put like a sticker on the back window?
Then
that
it's
considered-
considered marketing and you
Okay.
do get to deduct some stuff. I didn't want to put my picture or plaster my name
On your
or my phone number on my car
Right.
because, I
That's
have a heavy foot. And I can't tell you, or if something happens, I can tell you that, there have been many times, since I have worked in this office that I have received a phone call that said, your agent, da, 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 is
Ran me
swerving
off
and
the road,
driving all
cut
over
me
the
off.
road and being,
Right,
okay, so I don't want those phone calls, I don't want them to have my phone number, I don't, but that's a decision that you have to make in your business.
yeah, my husband did it, he has a dump truck business and he doesn't put a phone number on the sides of the trucks at all. Because you're just asking to buy windshields for people,
Oh, yeah.
a rock fell out and cracked my window.
Yeah, so, so those are some of the things that you're gonna wanna keep track of. Some of the other things that you might keep track of is, I always had certain things in my car. So when I took buyers out and stuff like that, I always had water. In my car, so if you're
Right.
buying water for your clients, that's a cost. If you have snacks, that's a cost. I used to do a thing that if I was showing a couple that had children, I would always buy the children something. And at the beginning of the showings, I would say to them, if you're really good today, I have a surprise for you when we get done. Those are tax deductible. Anything and everything that is possibly, that you do associated with your business you need to keep track of. If you buy signs, if you pay somebody to do your website,
Meals, like if you have.
if you take them out to lunch, if you go to lunch with somebody and you talk about real
All you have to
estate,
do is talk about it.
yes. That is also a tax deduction. Let's say that you do a listing and you go buy you pay for photographs and a drone. That's tax deductible. You get to keep track of those expenses. Let's say that you're doing a listing and it's vacant and you go buy some flowers to put on the front porch and a pot and a bag of dirt.
Anything you use for props, right?
Anything you use for staging or anything like that, if you do an open house, if you buy, cookies or you buy whatever, that is also something that you can use. So I bring this up because a lot of people, they forget, and that's why I recommend that you never ever throw a receipt away. And I still have the bad habit of having all kinds of receipts in my purse and I don't sell real estate anymore. Like, oh my God, I need to clean out my purse. Okay, so a lot of what you do and a lot of being a real estate agent and going out there and finding business has a lot to do with mindset. Okay, so your mindset has to be in the game. Okay, you have to eat, breathe, sleep, live real estate right now. I will say that it normally, when you start out, things are a little bit slower. And things don't happen quite as fast as we want them to. And it will take you 18 months to 3 years to actually build that business up to where you don't have to be seeking out business all the time. Okay. It takes a bit for people to remember that you even sell real estate. Okay, except for maybe your sphere of influence or your circle of influence. Okay, you need to, it's gonna take a bit to get the momentum built up. So with that in mind, don't get discouraged. Keep going. Keep making those phone calls, keep staying in contact with people, wear that name tag everywhere you go. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I had people in the grocery store getting my oil change, getting my car washed, whatever. They would see my name tag and they would go, "Oh, you work for Keller Williams? How's the market?"
Good,
Mark is always awesome.
always good, no matter what.
So people will see that name tag and their first thing that they're gonna ask you is how's the market? Everybody wants to know how the real estate market is, okay? And I will say that the real estate market, feeds 70% of the economy,
70%.
70%. Because here's what happens. Somebody decides to put the house on the market. And because we're gonna put the house on the market, we gotta go ahead and fix a hole that's in the bedroom. Because, if we didn't mind looking at it, then nobody else is gonna buy it with a hole. Or we might need to change the windows, or we might need to replace the roof, or we might need a new refrigerator. Or we might need to put in new carpet, or we might need to paint, you guys see where this is going? Okay. So sellers go in and they get their house ready to be put on the market, so they're spending money. Okay, then, and of course, the money that they're spending to get their house on the market is going to the HVAC people, the electricians, the plumbers, the carpet guys, it feeds the economy. Okay, and then when a buyer goes and buys a house, once they buy a brand new spanking new house, which actually doesn't even count then, because when you buy a brand new house, you have no curtains, you have no blinds, you have no, okay, not enough. And of course you want new furniture, because you got a brand new house, okay? So the buyer goes out and they buy a house, And they decide that they're going to do things to the house because, you know.
Painting,
Huh?
changing painting,
Paint.
stuff like that.
Carpet, I don't
Well-
like the carpet, I want wood floors, I want a new washer dryer.
So they're gonna change it all up again.
So they're gonna go out and they're going to feed the economy, okay? So 70% of the economy is driven by the real estate market. The other thing I want to tell you is you are not a salesman. Your job as a realtor is to provide a service. And the service that we provide is for people to do the biggest purchase or sale of their life. Okay, so when we get back in here and I say, how many phone calls did you make? How many people did you talk to? You know, have you gone through your phone? Where's my phone? My phone's not in there. Oh, I don't go find my phone. So when you start going through your phone and you start calling everybody, which we'll talk about on Thursday, okay? And I say, how many times have you called them? Well, I called them once, Monica, and they don't want to hear from me. I don't want to bug people. I don't want to bug them. Okay, you're not bugging people. We provide a service. We are not a used car salesman. We are not an insurance person. Okay, we provide a service. And the service that we provide helps people make the biggest purchase of their lives. Okay, what we do is not go through and we're not selling a computer. We're not selling a phone. Okay, we are helping them sell or buy a piece of, you know, a property. A 300, 800, $1.5 million property. And that's not a little task. Okay, so don't get caught up in the, I'm bothering them. Okay, people do want to hear from you. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how real estate is. They want to know, how much their neighbor's house sold for. They want to know how much the house down the street is on the market. They want to know what's going on in their neighborhood and who's selling and who's not. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're doing that. And know that 90% of your success is going to be based on your mindset and your attitude. Okay, so you gotta have a positive attitude. And it can be really hard when you start picking up that phone and you start making phone calls to people. Okay, because I get it, I understand. The phone weighs 1,000 pounds is the hardest thing to pick up. It's the hardest thing to start making phone calls to people. Okay, make them anyway. That your phone is going to be your lifeline into your sphere of influence and your circle of influence. Okay, and we. A lot of times real estate agents are high I personalities, which means that we're people persons. And we don't like rejection. We don't like people to tell us no. So when we call them up and we say, hey, it's Monica with Keller Williams Trey Lakes, and I was just wondering if you knew anybody that wanted to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. No, Monica, I don't know anybody. Okay. Well, if you come across anybody that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please keep me in mind. And hang up the phone. It takes 7 no's to get a yes. So please know that you're gonna start picking up the phone. And you're gonna start making phone calls. And when you do the first one, just go 1. Pick it up, make number 2. You're gonna probably get a no, okay? If your conversion rate is better than a 7-to-1 ratio, you're doing awesome. You're doing really awesome. Now, I will say, when you start making these phone calls, start calling people that you know first. Okay, everybody set up their business Facebook page?
No,
You need to get a business Facebook page.
and so it needs to be separate than mine, right?
Yes,
And is it connected to the Keller Williams one?
Is it connected to the Keller Williams?
to the Tri-Lakes one?
No,
No, okay.
No, you go set a separate one up. It does have to say Keller Williams Tri Lakes, and if your phone number's on there, our phone number's on there. Yada, yada, yada. But you need to set up a Facebook page, business page. If you do any kind of social media. Oh, I had a Greek salad at lunch from Panera, it's kind of.
Oh, that sounds good though.
If you set up any kind of social media page, you need to have your own real estate page, so Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, X, if you do any of those, you need to set up a separate business page. And the reason that you wanna do that is because you're not gonna wanna put everything real estate on your personal page, because it might shut people down. Okay, they're gonna go, oh, you do this real estate, and I don't want you anymore, or they'll unfriend you, because that's all you're doing. Now, if you set up a business Facebook page, then you're able to go in and advertise and do all that, invite people to that page. Okay, and then sometimes if it's really good stuff, like you're doing an open house or something, then you can share your business page onto your page. But you do wanna kind of keep that stuff separate. Does that make sense?
Make everything professional on the professional side.
Yes. And while we're speaking on that, professional and on the professional side. I want you guys to be very, very aware. With social media. Ooh, I got all kinds of people on here. Look at that.
Yours is very popular today.
It's like Squirrel City here, sorry. Laughing at me. If you, on your personal page, also on your business page, please be very aware of the things that you are posting on there. So I would suggest that you not get too political. I would
Or
suggest.
religious.
Or religious. I would suggest that if there's anything that could be construed in any way by anybody,
No
in a
conspiracy
bad
theories.
way, you need to think twice, okay? I will also say that as you are scrolling through Facebook, and you see a comment and you want to comment on it,
Yeah.
I want you to be aware of what you're commenting on. Okay, so social media can be a very, very cruel place. I can tell you that there have been many agents, not necessarily in this area, but many agents that I know of, that have gone in and made a comment on somebody's page. This was actually,
And then got blackballed.
huh?
And then they were blackballed.
And the comments started coming in, people are not kind, it got back to KW, RI, International. And then all of a sudden you're getting a phone call from the president or vice president of KW, to ask you about your comments.
Really? So that they
Oh.
follow up on that? Really?
Oh, it can get ugly.
Really?
Okay, so I want you to be very aware of what you're commenting on and what you're posting. So a lot of times, you know, I know if you guys are friends with me, I know you probably all gone back and you scroll back through my pictures and everything. And you will see that I post a lot of pictures of flowers. I post a lot of pictures of nature, of wildlife. And I will do some inspirational quotes, gardening quotes. But you will never see anything political. Kind of. On my Facebook page, I say that because I did post something. couple of months ago. But I want you to be very aware of it. Okay, so,
So should we go back and hide all of our old posts?
yeah,
Can you do
it
that?
depends
Can you
on
do
how
that?
far back you wanna go. I mean, if you go back far enough in my stuff. You're
Right, can you do that? Can you can make them not visible to people though, can't you?
Yeah.
Make your personal private to only your friends.
Right.
You can do that. Right. Yeah. And then your business page.
Your business
can
is
just be
public.
open.
Yeah.
Okay. So do be very aware of what you got going on. I will tell you that, you know, I don't get on social media till I get home at night. Okay, so you won't see me on Facebook in the office. Facebook's not even loaded on my phone. Okay, so I get on Facebook when I get home at night. I start scrolling through. If there's something that I see that, you know, I agree with, or I don't agree with, or I think it's funny or whatever. And I go, hey, Steve, look at this. And we laugh,
And then you,
and then I keep scrolling. Okay, so, so if it's any of those categories that is borderline, just be aware, be very careful. Okay, so I will say that. Comments? From anybody? Okay, so attitude, mindset, I want you guys to be in the right mindset. If you get into a mindset where you're like, I can't do this, I don't wanna do this, I'm not sure about this. You get discouraged. Your attitude starts going down, you don't wanna do what you need to do to go get the business, please call me. I will talk you off the ledge. I will pick you up off the ground.
you won't hold it against us.
I do not hold anything against anybody, okay, so, the one thing that you will learn, about me is I'm a pretty fair person. I also understand personalities. So I understand that none of you are the same. And I also understand that I might be able to go to Christina and go, I need to make 10 phone calls today. Are you gonna do that?
Mm-hmm.
But I might have to go to Maria and I might go, hey Maria, how's it going? Good. Yeah. So how's business? Baby, could you do me a favor? What? Could you maybe make 10 phone calls for me? Oh, yeah. Okay. So not everybody is the same, okay? And, you know, one of the things that I will say is you need to learn how to identify personalities. You need to know your own personality. Okay, I'm a direct person. I would much rather prefer to just come at you. I'm going to tell you like it is, okay? But I also identify other personalities. And I know I can't do that with everybody. Okay, so with you, I know that when you call me and go, hey, Monica, I'm trying to figure this out, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, I can just say, go do this, 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 and this. And you're good with it.
Or if I leave you a voicemail that says, I just feel so stupid right now.
And I'm gonna say, no, you're not stupid.
Did you get that from me yesterday?
I did.
Cause I called the office person, I was like, I feel like an idiot, I can't find it.
And then you called me on my cell phone.
And then I didn't feel like an idiot anymore because you said it's not there.
Yeah, so see, there you
Yeah,
go.
it turned out good. Cause I
Um,
was dreading calling you, I didn't wanna have to call you with that. Cause I was like, I felt like an idiot, like she's gonna say it's right there.
it's not.
Cause Deb had already said, you got an Arkansas one on here, what are you doing? You know, and I was like, it's Arkansas. So yeah,
Yeah.
now that
do-
was kind of dumb, I should have
Do
looked.
do you know that when you call Deb, Deb is very direct?
Right, right.
Okay, and she doesn't take personalities into effect. So if Deb calls you and she is like that with you, and you get hurt feelings, please call me and I will talk you off the ledge, okay? So I will celebrate with you, I will do the happy dance with you. When you get your first listing, when you get your first buyer, when you get whatever it is that you get. I will also hold you as accountable as you want to be held accountable. Okay. So you as a real estate agent will get out of this business what you put into it. And if you are making the phone calls and you are making an effort, or you are going out there to find the real estate, then you will be successful. Okay? But I don't want you to think that you're going to get real estate just because you have your real estate license. I also don't want you to think that just because I called my neighbor one time and told him that I had my real estate license, and that I sold real estate, that he's going to remember that. Okay, because he won't. You need to keep in contact with him. Okay, so, keep your attitude in check. I am a firm believer in affirmations. And one of the things that, one of my affirmations every day before I get out of bed, well, almost every day, unless I decide not to say my affirmation.
Let's enjoy those days, huh?
Yeah, no, it's cold outside and it snowed 8 inches.
Mhm.
No, it's not going to be a great day today.
No.
So one of my affirmations before I get out of bed is, it's going to be a great day. Okay, and if you guys ask me, how's your day going? You're gonna hear 95% of the time, awesome. Okay, that's like my favorite word, awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, and I won't tell you awesome, whether it's awesome or not. Because your mindset goes with what comes out of your mouth. Your thoughts and your mouth and what you say out loud has an effect on your attitude and your personality and all that stuff all rolled into one. Can you guys see me with my hands? So I want you to be a positive person. I want you to think, you know, good things are going to happen to me today. Okay, and you can't just think it, you gotta say it out loud. So when I took bold the first time, one of the bold coaches, one of the things that she was a big affirmation person. And one of our affirmations was, it's going to be a great day in real estate. I'm going to go find a buyer, or I'm going to go find a listing. Okay, I am a great real estate agent and real estate business comes to me. Okay, and if you start putting that into your mindset and have that attitude, good things will start happening to you.
There's a comedian, his name was Matt something or whatever, but he described it the best to me to where it really stuck with me. And he said, did you know that we have a smart side of the brain and a stupid side of the brain?
Mhm.
And that the stupid side of the brain doesn't even know what's going on ever, and the smart side of the brain can trick it. And tell it whatever it wants to, and it'll
Yes.
believe it.
So trick your brain.
Right, and that, when he said that, that just kind of hit home with me when he was making a joke, and it is kind of funny. And it's an interesting way to look at it, but it's kind of a different perspective, and that kind of worked for me. I was like, hey, I'll trick that dumb side of my brain.
Okay, so, and then the third little quadrant there is approach to life. So, you know, I do believe, in, you know, what comes around goes around. I do believe that if you are a positive person, positive things will happen to you. So, you know, I want you guys to have an approach that you are honest, you work with integrity, and, you know, basically abide by, the KW, culture belief system. So one of the things that brought me to KW, have any of you ever read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Okay. So in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, there's 7 habits. Yeah. And the very first habit is win-win. Okay, so, it's, well, actually, it's not win-win, that's the 5th habit. The first habit is be proactive. Win-win is one of those things that I believe in wholeheartedly, okay? I don't like lose-win, I don't like lose-lose, I don't like win-lose, I believe in win-win. And I think that win-win is fair for everybody, okay? I try to uphold myself at a very high integrity. Okay, I'm going to do the right thing. Okay, and doing the right thing means that I gotta go buy a washing machine or some kind of stupid appliance every year. I'll tell you all that story later. Then that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm going to do the right thing by my clients. But I also want you to understand that not everybody works that way. Okay, so please understand that part of being with KW is a culture and its integrity, and we're honest and we communicate. And we want win-win deals, okay? And we hold a high standard for being real estate agents and realtors. Not everybody is like that. Not all agents are created equal. And sometimes we just have to let it roll off and move on to the next deal. Okay. But I will also say, don't let somebody take advantage of you. So if that happens, we're gonna get me involved, we're gonna get Deb involved, and then I'll take care of it. He's really good at that. So you don't. Okay, so EDP, have you ever heard of entrepreneurial, look at me, all these big words. Purposeful, EDP, have you guys ever heard that? Most real estate agents are entrepreneurial. Most people that are self-employed are entrepreneurial. They want to go out, they want to start the business, okay? And a lot of times their business will start taking off and they'll start doing things, and things will be great, but then they hit a ceiling. And in entrepreneurialism, ooh, I did it, will only get you so far in business. At some point, you have to become purposeful, okay? And the sooner that you stop flying by the seat of your pants, I do it all the time, the sooner you get purposeful, the sooner you will start seeing consistency in your business. Okay, so one of the bold laws, and I saw it up here. It's not about selling real estate, it's about following a schedule. And then there's also something up there about systems and models. So you have to get purposeful with your actions and what you're going to do. Okay, so one of those things is time blocking. So when it comes to lead generation, you need to time block your lead generation on when you're going to do it. And what time is that going to be? And we will talk a little bit more about time blocking. Is it this chapter or the next one? And I'll kind of go through time blocking with you, but you want to become purposeful in what you're doing. You want to become purposeful in the actions that you're taking to go get real estate and to build that business. I also want you guys to remove your limiting beliefs. So a common limiting belief is, well, they don't want to talk to me. I'm not gonna call them because they don't want to talk to me. They don't care if I'm in real estate. They're renting something, so it's not possible that they want to buy real estate. So you need to get rid of those limiting beliefs. And you need to erase them from your mind. That goes in, when I was talking about affirmations. They do want to talk to you. People do want you to be successful. And they do want to hear from you. So it is okay to pick up the phone and have the conversation. Okay. Everybody that you know needs to know that you sell real estate. Everybody. And I had a little post-it note pad in my car, because when you first start out, you know, you can't remember everybody that you need to tell. You know, who did I work with 30 years ago when I worked at CGI? What was that person's name? Oh, I can't remember. And I do all of my thinking and world problem solving in the car. So I always had a Post-it note pad and a pen in my car, so that when somebody's name would pop in my head, I could write it down. And then when I got home, then they would go on my list of people that I needed to call or reach out to in some shape, form, or fashion to let them know that I'm in real estate. Everybody in your phone, everybody that you know, everybody that you're friends with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, everybody needs to know that you sell real estate. Everybody. And you need to tell them over and over again. Now, I'm not saying call them every day, you know, but there is, we'll talk about 8x8 on Thursday. There's an 8x8 that's proven fact. That if you touch somebody 8 times in 8 weeks, they'll remember. That's how many times it takes. Okay, 8 times in 8 weeks, they did research on it. It's not 8 times in 8 months, it's 8 times in 8 weeks. It's not one time, it's 8 times in 8 weeks. It's not once a month, it's 8 times in 8 weeks. Okay, so they did research on it. So don't get mad at your neighbor because you called him up or you sent him a card and said, I'm in real estate, and you only did it one time. And 2 months later, his house is on the market with somebody else. And you didn't touch him 8 times in 8 weeks. Because you didn't really tell him and he forgot. It got cold, but yeah, snowstorm. We got football playoffs going on. The kids went back to school. My mom died. Okay, they forget, life happens. So you have to stay in contact with them, you have to let them know. An 8x8, here's a simple 8x8, okay? Cause I don't like to overcomplicate things, and I'm a simple kind of person. And if it's simple and it works, then I just leave it alone. Week 1, I'm gonna make a phone call. I'm gonna call that person, I'll let them know I'm in real estate. I'm gonna ask them if they are thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate. They're gonna probably tell me no. Chances are they're gonna tell me no. I'm gonna ask them if they know anybody that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Okay, chances are they're probably gonna say no, but they're happy to hear from you. And they're gonna be excited for you that you're in real estate. And they're gonna tell you that you're gonna do a wonderful job. Okay, I'm gonna hang up that phone and I am going to write a handwritten thank you letter. Not a form letter, not an envelope with a label on it. Okay, that's cheating. Everybody knows that when you get something in the mail that is actually self-addressed, handwritten, and it's got a handwritten card in it, what do?
Open it.
We get excited and we open it. Oh my gosh, he sent me something. This is so awesome. I'm gonna open this. And they open up the card, and in the card is a thank you letter. Don't get too elaborate, it's real easy. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me the other day. I've enclosed 2 business cards for you. If you know anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate or invest in real estate, please have them contact me. Don't overthink it, you guys. It's easy. They don't care what it says, well, they do, but they don't. It was the thought that you actually picked up a card, picked up a pen, wrote them a thank you letter, put 2 business cards in it, wrote out the envelope, put the stamp on it, return address, went to the post office. Okay, stamps, envelopes, thank you cards, those are all expenses, remember that. And you put it in the mail and they got it in the mail. Okay. Now, if you want to be extra special, you really focus on their kids and their pets. Okay, so I used to know all of my clients' kids' birthdays. And if they had pets, I also knew their pets' birthdays. And I would send birthday cards. You know, if it was a girl, I sent a little $5 Claire gift card in there. If it was a boy, you know, I sent a $5 gift card to, I don't know, Bass Pro or something. If it was a pet, I might send a $5 gift card to the pet store, and I would send a thank you card, not to my client, to their kids and their pets. You wanna get their heartstrings going, that'll get them every time. Grandkids.
How do you find out their birthdays, though, and kids' birthdays and stuff like that?
Oh, a lot of times Alaska. Free, Facebook, today. Ooh,
Right,
Today, 28 years ago was the changing of my life.
Right.
Okay,
anniversaries and stuff like that.
yeah, or you ask,
Right.
you can ask, okay. So second week, sorry, squirrel, second week, or, you know, as soon as I hang up the phone, I'm gonna write a thank you card, that's week 2. Week 3, I'm going to send them some kind of email. Okay, hey, did you know that I have an app, my KW app, I'm sending you the link. You can download this on your phone, if you're out driving around, you wanna know what the price of a house is, or you wanna know what's going on in your neighborhood, yada, yada, yada. You know, download this app and you'll be able to get it free of charge. Or you can do the same thing with the website. Or you can do the app 1 month and the website the next month. Because you're gonna find out here in a minute that I just repeat the process. Okay, week 4, I'm going to send something of value. Okay, whether that be some kind of newsletter, some kind of coupon, some kind of something, it doesn't have to be big, it can be small. But I'm gonna send them something of value,
Email or mail,
or both. You know, I always did a newsletter once a month. And in those newsletters, if you guys go to, Old Republic Home Protection.com, which it is orhp.com. And a lot of the home warranty companies have this, and you click on real estate agent. You're gonna find out that they have like newsletters, monthly newsletters. Okay, and you can go in and you get to put your address on there and your picture and your information and all that good stuff on there. And every month they have a newsletter, and you can download that newsletter. And you can either send it out via email, or you can send it out via actual mail. That's up to you. It's probably cheaper to do it email than to do it actual mail.
Right.
Okay, or something of value, for February, we have Valentine's Day coming up. So I used to use holidays to my advantage. I would send out a Valentine's Day card, you know, Christmas card, holiday card, Thanksgiving card, the Royals, now keep in mind, I was up in Kansas City, I would do a Royal schedule, I would do in December, I would send out calendars that they would put up on their refrigerator, a chief schedule, I would mail those out in July. So you can use those kind of things to also keep in touch with. Okay, so we did 4 weeks, right? On week 5, that's what I do. I make a phone call. I do the whole thing all over again. Make a phone call, send a thank you card, send them an email and something of value. Okay, and if you got them set up on a newsletter, it's the next month's newsletter.
just ask them, hey, did you get my stuff I've been sending you, or on that?
And-
next
and
phone
I-
call?
Yeah, and on that phone call, that's what I do. Hey, I might be missing an email. Hey, I don't have your email, and I've got some really good information that I wanted to send you about real estate. Is it, can I get your email address? Hey, I noticed I don't have your anniversary date. Would you be so kind as to give me your anniversary? Also know that every phone call that you make does not necessarily have to be about real estate. Trust me, it'll get there. Okay, sometimes you might see something going on Facebook with somebody that you're friends with. They've even tried to get in the car to go look at something, and they post something on Facebook, and you just call to say, hey, I saw Susie Q won whatever, at school, that's so awesome, and you just start the conversation. Or, hey, I'm calling to see how your mom's doing. So you wanna stay in touch with them, you wanna, you know, you wanna build those relationships, and we'll talk a little bit, about that too. What do you think that is? Okay, any questions? The other thing that I'm gonna say is be accountable. So if you are not a self-starter and can't hold yourself accountable and you need an accountability person, I suggest that you find that person to hold you accountable and say, this is how I'm going to meet my goal, this is what I'm going to do. And I don't recommend this for everybody's, my husband and I have a different kind of relationship. But when I started out doing real estate, my accountability person was my husband. Okay, if you want me to be your accountability person, I can do that. If you want a friend of yours to be an accountability person, then do that. But you need to have somebody that's not afraid to ask the question, hey, Kim, how many phone calls did you make yesterday? What did you accomplish in real estate? Did you hit your goal? Okay, so every morning I would get ready for real estate, and I'd be sitting there, and I'd be putting on my makeup, and I'd be doing my hair, and my husband would be over here getting ready for work. And he would ask me those questions. What do you got going on today? Are you showing anybody any houses? Do you have any listing appointments? Who are you gonna make phone calls to? Okay, so I was letting somebody know what I was going to accomplish for that day. Okay, cause it's real easy being self-employed and nobody's telling you what to do.
To do nothing.
To do nothing. Okay,
And then what about, you said, talking about staying purposeful? Also, though, staying organized, because see, your day starts out and you can have these plans and you get started on it, and then the first, well, whatever it is you're doing or whatever, it gets sidetracked into, and it leads into this or it leads into that, and the next thing you know, it's like squirrel and you're way off here, and then,
and you never got that accomplished.
right, what's a good tactic to avoid that?
I always like to take care of that stuff first.
Right, but that's what gets you sidetracked, though. You know, your first call, your first thing you do, then they got something they want you to do, and you do it right then, and you know what I'm saying?
Call me back. Doesn't text me. Nothing. I'm glad you're here.
She's been on vacation, sorry.
Deb's been gone for a couple of weeks.
Having
She's
toes in the sand.
coming in here with long sleeves on. We can't even see your tan.
Oh, there was no tan to be had.
Uh-oh.
Boy, it's all cloudy.
Yeah, the fog.
I've got a friend on a cruise right now down
Oh.
Mexico, and they're saying the same thing. Did you go on a cruise?
No, I went to Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
Oh, yeah, I had a friend on a cruise down to Mexico, and she's saying there's not much sun there either.
Sea fog. I mean, it was so foggy. It was a oceanfront condo and you couldn't see the water.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was, Michael was grilling steaks below me. I went on the screened-in porch, I could barely see him.
Oh,
Yeah, for 2 days it was like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so not much sun, just a very little bit. So I gotta go back. April's looking good to me.
I'm glad you're back.
How long were you gone?
Huh?
She left the 27th of December.
She's been gone this whole time?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know you'd been gone the whole time.
Yeah, she's been gone the whole time.
I've been bugging her.
And then
still.
she goes.
I was still bugging her like it was just another day.
Yeah.
I didn't get the memo.
That tells me who reads the emails I sent.
Exactly.
I didn't get the email.
You got the email.
I did?
Yeah, everybody got
I'm
it.
gonna have to go back.
Everybody got the email. And I was lost.
Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't read it all.
It was
I'm
all
very
there.
bad about reading the first part and thinking that's the only important parts of the whole thing.
No, read the whole, if I send one, the whole thing's
You read the
important.
whole thing, it comes from her.
So here's what I'm
Well-
gonna say about being purposeful and being accountable. I was gonna talk about time blocking tomorrow, but.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to.
I, no, you're good. I can tell you that when I sold real estate, my day basically started at 7:30 in the morning. And from 7:30 to 9 o'clock, I would work on any kind of paperwork I needed to get done. I would get my day in order. I would figure out who I was going to call. Okay. At 9 o'clock, I started leaving. I never left my house before 11, ever. Unless it was some kind of inspection that somebody couldn't do at any other time, okay? So I would leave in, basically for 2 hours a day, from 9 to 11. Whether that was making phone calls, sending emails, doing texts, marketing, whatever. At 11 o'clock, I would leave my house. And then I would take care of whatever needed to be taken care of. Most showings are never going to happen, before noon. Most people work, except down here, I didn't say that. But normally you're not gonna be showing houses at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I would do all inspections, all showings, all of that stuff was done in the afternoon. So I knew that the most important thing for my business to be moving forward was to lead gen. And so I would lead gen in the morning. And if I couldn't lead gen in the morning, I made up for it somewhere in the afternoon.
So you just stayed on the lead generation from 9 to 11. You didn't get sidetracked when you called somebody and then they got you on side. You didn't go off onto that. You just took your notes, said, I'll get on it. And then you kept continued lead generating until 11 o'clock.
Yes.
So that'd be a good plan for me. I'm working it out in my head here, if you can tell.
Yeah, so I never left my house before 11.
Well, I don't even mean leaving you don't have to leave your house. I don't have to leave my house to get sidetracked on stuff. It's just that. Then
No,
you get this phone call and then you're up in this and then you're doing, yeah.
And I'm starting
having a
to
hard
load
time
laundry and the dishwasher needs to be unloaded.
Well, no, I got an
and,
office downstairs, so that kind of keeps me isolated a little bit from that stuff, but I'm just bad about
Yeah,
staying organized, staying
lead
on track.
gen, and I'll reiterate this tomorrow. Lead gen is your number one thing. All the other stuff doesn't matter, because if you're not lead genning and trying to generate business, you have no business. Okay, so your number one thing is to lead gen. If you're not lead genning, subscribers. If you're not lead genning, your business is gonna look like this. Okay, so you're here. And I'm lead genning, I'm lead genning, I'm lead genning. Oh my God, somebody wants to go look at a house. Okay, and we're gonna go look at a house and we're gonna make an offer on a house. And then we gotta do inspections. And then we gotta follow this process and then we're gonna have a closing date. Okay, and my lead gen fell off the face of the earth because, oh my God, I had a contract. And I got so much going on, I can't do anything else but focus on this contract. I got an inspection. At 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's gonna take up 2 hours of my day. I'm not gonna be able to accomplish anything else. Because I don't have an inspection until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Okay. And I gotta get ready for this inspection at 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm being facetious,
No, because it's like, yeah, I know, you're being realistic. That's what happens. That's what goes through our minds.
So then I have my closing right here. Here's my closing. So I didn't do any lead gen this whole time. So guess what happens? I got no
No
business.
business. Back to the beginning.
Oh, crap. I got no business. I need to start lead genning. Lead gen, lead gen, lead gen, lead gen, lead gen, lead gen. Oh, somebody wants me to list their house. I gotta get a listing presentation together. I gotta do a CMA. I gotta go to the house. I gotta go preview a couple of houses that might be on the market in their same neighborhood. Okay, and I'm gonna go on the listing. And I'm gonna get the listing. Yay! Okay, I stopped lead Jenny because I got something going on. I'm gonna put their house on the market and it's gonna sit on the market. I'm not gonna do anything because, oh my God, I'm stressed out. And I can't do anything else because I got this listing. And this seller's calling me every day and they wanna know why. Well, of course, they didn't list the house at the price that I wanted them listed at. No, I took a listing that's $50,000 overpriced. Okay. Okay, so we'll say we got the listing. Listing went under contract. Okay, I gotta worry about what's going on over here. I can't take 2 hours out of my day to lead Jen because I have a listing. And it's taking up all my time. Okay, and then I'm gonna get here and I'm gonna close, and I got no business because I stopped lead Jenny. The number one job that you need to be doing is lead generating, okay? Otherwise, your business is gonna look like that. And I say all that and you guys kind of giggle at me,
No, I mean,
It's
you
true.
read my mind.
okay? But it's true, okay? I see it, I hear it all the time.
You brought something up that I have a quick question about, when you said they listed it for 50,000 over what I thought it should be listed. Is there ever a time that you become selective on what business you take and don't take?
Yeah.
And how selective should you be?
When you have so much business that it doesn't matter what business.
That's when you
take.
get real selective.
And I will also say that, you know, when we start talking about personalities and we start talking about, you know, your personality versus another personality, can you deal with that person? Okay, are they gonna drive you just absolutely? Thank you. Crazy. And sometimes it's just better to hand them off to another agent with a 25% referral fee. And move on and go do something else. Am I gonna take a listing that, you know, down here we get to sell all the time? Am I gonna take a listing that the house is really worth $299,000, but they wanna list it at 375? Because their neighbor's house across the street that's lakefront sold for, you know, 450. So mine's gotta be worth 375. Of course, that house is brand new and this house is 50 years old and needs updated. And the deck's falling off the back end and the roof needs to be replaced and it's never been painted on the outside. But their house is worth more, okay? So there are times that, yes, I walked away from listings. Okay, because they were being unreasonable.
And you didn't feel like he was ever gonna talk him down off of that.
If I did not think that I could coach them to the right price, then no, I didn't take the listing.
Now, is it beneficial to let them, to list it and let them, give them some time for them to see that nobody's biting at that and then try to renegotiate with them?
When I get into a listing appointment and I have those conversations with them, there might be times that I would say, okay, we're gonna list it at 328. We're gonna do it your way for 10 days. But here's a listing change amendment that says that we're gonna reduce the price after 10 days if we have no showings and no offers.
So then you got locked
And
in.
then, I'm locked in. Or if they won't sign the piece of paper, but I think that I can have that conversation with them, then yes, I will. I will go ahead and take the listing. But if I have somebody, you know, and they tell me that their house is worth $100,000 more than the house next door because their father built the house with 2x10s instead of 2x6s. And they won't listen to me, then it's not really worth it to me. And I may walk away from that listing. or if they just drive me absolutely crazy. You know, showing property and they're really never ever gonna buy anything. They're just looky-loos, then I'm done with you. Okay, so remember, your time is money. You do not get paid till you get to the closing table. Okay, so you wanna make sure that you can get them to the closing table.
Do you experience that a lot? I mean, have you had a high percentage of what's reasonable to expect?
I mean, I don't, you know.
A quarter of the people that you,
You're gonna find that most of the time, you are going to draw a certain personality. I didn't really experience a lot of that because for whatever reason, I always got the high D personalities, the detailed oriented personalities, the attorneys, the, engineers.
so the people that were logic, that were pretty,
Yeah,
they're
very
pretty easy
very
to-
logical, very
yeah,
analytical
rationalized.
people.
Yeah.
So that was more of my.
So you didn't get all the schizos and stuff.
No, I didn't really get the schizos. I mean, and
Just
now,
ask,
now,
no,
that's not to say that I didn't have a couple of schizos. I mean, I can tell you.
because they're out there.
Oh, yeah. And I will say, follow your gut. If your gut tells you, this ain't good, you follow your gut. Okay. I mean, I had a client one time that I was showing up in Paola, Kansas. It was an hour and 15 minutes from my house to go from my house to Paola, Kansas, every time I wanted to show property. And they was a married couple. He was more of the detailed oriented type of person, and she was just,
Schizo.
upbeat. And I'll never forget that we were standing outside looking at a house that I had driven an hour and a half to go show them one house in Paola. And her son looked at me and said, "My mom doesn't like you very much." And it took everything I had not to say, well, you know what, the feelings mutual. But you also will get to the point where you have so much time and money invested in them that you want to get them to the closing table.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's a lot of factors,
Yeah.
so it's hard
so-
to say.
How far into it you are and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I mean, if I walk in and, you know, I got a guy that's, you know, being arrogant with me and he obviously, you know, has sold way more real estate than I do and that's what he does for a living. I'm being facetious. Okay, he doesn't know anything about selling real estate, but he thinks he does.
Right.
Okay, because he has access to the internet.
YouTube,
Then I may
TikTok.
just walk away from something like that. I will say that normally in married couples, the wife is the one that makes the decision.
Okay, so. It pulls the weight for the most part.
And you also need to know how to deal with personalities. Okay, so, I am one to mirror somebody.
Mhm.
Okay, so, if they get all, you know, rambunctious and mouthy and whatever, I'm not scared to get rambunctious and mouthy back. But I am a mirror match person, so if you're calm, cool, and collected, I'm gonna be calm, cool, and collected. I've also learned, you know, over the years that, the person that stays calm is the person that's
The
in
wins,
control.
yeah.
The person that's asking questions is the person that's in control. And there's a lot of ways, that you can go about influencing people to do what you need them to do. Right, does that make sense? Does it?
Yeah, it's all in how you approach it to them. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like, I use my dad as an example because he broke up his properties. And, the realtor approached him with an offer and basically the offer was, you know, they wanted him to cover part of the closing cost. My dad's like, well, why should I pay their money? Why should I pay, or part of the down payment, it wasn't closing cost, it was a down payment, he said, why should I pay for their loan? You know, and just the way his mentality was, that, I mean. They could have asked him to go down in price, they could have asked him to do anything except for that. Because then it was kind of more of this, well, I'm, you know, it was just a principle. To it,
Yeah.
you know, that he might have lowered the price, the X amount of dollars. But as far as them asking him to fork over money for their down payment, that was apples and that to him, that was just two totally
Yeah,
different things.
and that's a generational thing.
Yeah,
You know, if you got no skin in the game, then you're not gonna,
and they're not gonna catch up with the way people do, because I tried to explain to him, Dad, that's just kind of how they do things now. And you
Yeah.
know what? You can tell him that all you want to and everything, but it's still, it ain't gonna be right to him.
yeah,
Years.
and I get that.
It's changing.
But can I maneuver him to get him to the
Right.
closing table to get him
Yeah,
to,
and we did.
so that,
But
that's.
that, I told them, I was talking, because I was friends with the realtor, I was like, man, we're gonna have to do some damage control here because we're gonna play this a different way. And to this day, he'll still say, I don't understand why, you know.
Yeah.
He
So,
got what he wanted out of it. But it was still just the principle that I have to pay further,
and, you know, people have,
their down
every,
payment.
I have to tell my husband all the time, you know, because he always says, well, it doesn't make sense that they do something like that, or why would somebody do that, or why would somebody wanna live in the neighborhood, or why would somebody?
People want what they want.
And my comment to him is, if we were all exactly the same, it would be a boring world. Okay, so we don't want everybody the same. We want everybody to be,
Right,
you know, a little bit different, so,
especially if you're selling real estate.
especially if you're selling real estate. Okay, so, and we're not moving along here very fast at all.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sure.
No, and it's not you. I've had all kinds of things. I do catch up, just so you guys know. I will cover everything in here. Okay, I don't follow the book page by page,
We know you will. You'll make us.
but I will cover everything in here. And I do have squirrels. And if you ask me a question, we're gonna talk about it. And then we may talk about it again. Okay, so one of the big things that you also wanna know is your big why. So we talked about accountability, we talked about mindset, we talked about, you know, those other things, but you wanna know, why are you in this business? Why do you wanna do real estate? Okay, when I got into real estate, I worked for a company, I worked in telephone, so I was telecommunications. And I worked for a small long distance telephone company, I was a big fish in a small lake. And it's when the internet was coming out, if you guys can remember that, oh my God, I'm giving myself an age here.
Mhm.
It was when the internet was coming out. And the president of our company, didn't want to go down the road of the internet. He didn't want to figure it out. He didn't think that there was, ever gonna be anything in there. And the business started going downhill. There's also some other stuff that went on. And so the company started going downhill, okay? And I knew that the company was going downhill because guess what? I was in the accounting department. I paid all the bills, I got all the phone calls. Why hadn't you paid your bill? And so I decided that I didn't want anybody to be in control of my destiny. Okay, so I worked for Sprint, I worked for, you know, CGI. And I poured my heart and soul into that company. Did, you know, traveled all over the world, well, all over the United States for them, was a road warrior, getting on a plane at 5 o'clock in the morning, coming home at 10 o'clock at night and being at work the next morning at 7:30 in the morning. Poured my heart and soul into this company, and he let it go down the drain. So I did not want anybody to be in control of my destiny, so that's why I got into real estate, because I wanted to control my own destiny. And then I got into real estate, I did pretty good. And I discovered that, what really fulfilled my heart and my soul, and what my passion really was was to help other people get into real estate and watch them be successful. Okay, so that's how all of this started. When I was in Olathe, I got approached and they said, hey, we got people, they don't know how to sell real estate and they need help. Okay, and I found out that that was my passion. Okay, so your big why is not necessarily always a monetary number. Okay, everybody has a different big why. So you need to know what your big why is and why you're doing this. Okay, and what makes it tick for you to want to do this. Okay, so because that will help you get through some of the days that can be very stressful when you're in real estate. Okay, so you don't really get to sleep when you're in real estate, you're on all the time. So you do want to know what your big why is. You also want to know what your monetary goal is. Although I say that it's not always monetary. I do get a lot, you know, well, I want to make $100,000 a year, or I want to make $60,000 a year. You want to know what the number is that you want to hit. And you want to go ahead and set a goal for yourself to hit that goal. If you want to talk about those numbers and you want to talk about that goal, come see me. And we will talk about that. And we can establish that number for you. I have several agents in this office, Jeff Reynolds being one of them. Probably about 5 or 6 years ago when Jeff left the Robertson team. He came to me and he said, Monica, I think my goal next year needs to be $6 million. I think that's what I want to do. In not gross commission, but sales. And I said, no, your volume needs to be 8 million. Okay. And, oh, I don't know. I have prayed about this and I need to go think about this. Anyway, his goal was $8 million. He hit $8 million. And he came to me the next year and we set his goal for 10.
He told us that, I mean.
Yeah, he told you that in the,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, he credited you for that.
if you want help setting your goals and setting your volume and figuring out what you need to do to get there, let me know. Okay, I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna go, oh my God, Kim, I need to know what your number is. Okay, because we're all adults. Okay,
Get time's running out, you better get busy.
yeah, you better get busy. But you do need to know what your monetary number is and what you want to do. Oh, goody, I did talk about this. We're not doing as bad as I thought. And then lead generate, you gotta lead generate to get there. Let's see how much of this I actually did talk about. Oh, I did pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very, because when you went back to the first, I was like, well, she's way past that. But you must have just forgot a subject or
Squirrel.
something.
I did. Okay, so your lead generation funnel looks like this. Okay. And okay. Without these, without leads, you are not gonna get to closings. Okay, and we will talk about conversion rates and stuff like that. I told you guys that you need to start calling everybody in your phone, everybody that you know, that everybody needs to know that you sell real estate. I told you that it's gonna take at least 7 no's to get a yes. Okay, if it's taking you 14 no's to get a yes, come see me and we'll talk about scripts. Okay. I'm a firm believer in scripts. A lot of the things that you hear come out of my mouth is a script. Hello, this is Monica Skinner with Keller Williams Trail Lakes. I was just calling to see if you knew anybody that wanted to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. The script. Once you learn the script and you say it over and over again, it just comes out. Okay? A lot of the things that you will hear come out of my mouth is the language of sales. There are certain things that you can say to people that drops subliminal hints as to get them to do what you want them to do. Okay? And we'll talk about some of that when we get into the scripts. So when I used to go visit, I'll just tell you real quick, when I used to go to for sale by owners. And I would tour their house. I would go in and I would get to the bathroom, and you know how everybody always has, the shower curtain closed? They always close the shower curtain. And I would say, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you leave this open for me when you show the property, because it makes the bathroom look better?
That's a great idea.
Oh, will you do me another favor? Will you make sure that you leave the blinds open for me when you show the property, because it looks all the natural light there?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sending subliminal messages. Will you do me a favor? Will you do this for me? Okay, when you do that with for sale by owners, it is sending a message, and they are getting used to the fact that you are their realtor. You are asking them to do things for you as their realtor. Okay? People would show up to a showing. And I would go show the property, and of course, immediately they pulled into the driveway.
And you knew you had it in the back.
Okay? People do not pull into a driveway that are not interested in the house. The buying signal, okay? They would pull into the driveway, they would get out of the car, of course, I had all the lights on, everything was all pretty. And I would say, oh my God, I think this is the one. I really think you guys are gonna want this house.
Cause they had already told you they liked it.
Well, they ain't seen it yet, or
They haven't seen it yet.
Right, but I mean, by them pulling in, they had already give you the message that.
Well, they pulled in the driveway, so I knew that was a good sign.
Right.
But that didn't have anything to do with why I told them that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I went and showed them 45 different houses, and I was tired of showing them houses. Oh my God, I think this is the one. I mean, a little facetious though, but, oh my God, I think this is the one. I can tell you.
That's your way of shutting them down. and
It's a
saying,
subliminal message.
Yeah, because in their.
I
head,
am
it's like, oh
setting
my God.
it in their brain
that
that this house is gonna be awesome. Okay, Monica said
this might be the
this
one.
this might be the one. Okay, and then they're gonna go through the house. Okay, and then they're gonna come back and go, oh my God, I really love this house. Are we ready to make an offer? We are, you know, so and I'm not gonna say it's gonna work 100% of the time. Okay, but there are certain scripts that you can use and certain things that you can say to help people along. Okay. Okay, so leads. Leads lead to appointments. We have to have appointments in order to get agreements. Whether those agreements are buyer agreements or listing agreements, okay? If we don't have a listing appointment, we probably won't get the listing agreement. Okay, so we have to be able to go on the listing appointment to be able to get the listing agreement. So these appointments are either buyers or sellers. Agreements are going to be buyers exclusive agencies. Or they're going to be listing agreements. And without either one of these, we're not going to get to a contract. Okay. And then, of course, once we get to contract. And we get them under contract, we're gonna do everything we need to do to get them to a closing. Which means this is dollar signs. And we do the happy dance.
Yes.
Okay, so when I said you are lead generation machines, you gotta have these leads to be able to get to appointments. You also will want to know your conversion rate. How many phone calls do I have to make to get an appointment? How many appointments do I go on? Or do I do to set up to get the agreement? Okay, and I talked to you guys about scripts. And I'll tell you a little story. A lot of what I do is I tell you about all the mistakes that I've made in my career. When I first started out and I would go on a listing appointment, I hated listings, I hated sellers, they're a pain in the rear, okay? Buyers are always so happy, they love you, you found the house that they want, and they just fall in love with you, and they got to close, and everything was great. I love buyers, okay? But I will tell you that time and money is in the listings. He who controls the listing controls the market, okay? And you will hear me say that a lot. Feels weird. So I would go on a listing appointment, my conversion rate on a listing was 45%. So for every listing appointment that I went on, I only got 45% of them. And I can tell you that in the other 55% that I didn't get, I knew exactly when I lost the listing. I knew exactly what came out of my mouth. Okay, that's, I'm done, I must wrap it up and go home, okay, I blew it. But then I did bold. And in bold, they gave us this, I'm gonna really age myself. They gave us these little round things that you could put into your car. And your car had this thing called a CD player. And you would pop that CD player or CD in the CD player. Don't you girls be laughing at me on over there, Annie or Linda. And you would pop the CD in the CD player, and they gave us these CDs, and it would be Diana Kokoska, who is actually the person that started Ignite, started Bold, she was the big training person. She's right here. She has since retired, but it was Diana Kokoska and her husband, Tony DeSello. And both of them, by the way, are investors in this building. And they would go through a listing presentation. Diana would be the listing agent and Tony would be the seller. And they would go through the scripts. And I would listen to that CD all the way to my listing appointment. And I decided that I was going to start following the things that they were saying, okay? And I didn't get it all the first time. And slowly but surely, as I went on listing appointments, I learned all the scripts that she used in her listing agreement. Or her
And
appointment.
it was all scripted out,
And it was all scripted out.
really.
And I
How
would
do you
go
get a hold
in,
of those now?
huh?
You ask Monica, she's got
I've got them,
books. and
I got
stuff.
books,
That's cool.
yeah, I got books.
I want some.
Uh,
Can I borrow some?
Yeah, they're right
Check 'em out.
outside, and there's scripts for sellers and scripts for buyers, and you can
The
make copies.
CDs though?
Huh?
Oh, I want the
no.
CDs. I want to be able to listen. to
Oh,
them.
no, they don't do that, now,
Now you
Then
YouTube it or
they-
something?
then they switched over to thumb drives that you would stick in. And now I think that they will, they may send them to you, via email or something,
Right.
I'll have to go back and look. So I would listen to them. And every time I would go on a listing appointment, my listing conversion rate kept going up. Okay, I got from a 45% conversion rate to an 85% conversion rate. Based on the scripts that I used and the language of sales that I used. Based on what they taught me.
But the bold trading or whatever.
Yeah, It doesn't even have to be full training, I got books out there. Okay, I also have a packet of just scripts for at night. That we can go, that I will give you guys, if you guys remind me, I'll have Jan make copies of them.
Okay.
And I'll bring them in to you. And so we need to do leads. We need leads. So we gotta pick up the phone, we gotta start making phone calls, we gotta start talking to people. And I'm over my time.
But you didn't wing it, you'd always use a script then from there on.
Pretty much. A lot of things are scripted,
So it's
yes.
just you had a script on, if they said this was your response.
For the most part, yeah. Yeah, and here's something about scripts that I tell you guys. Do the script as the script is written until you feel comfortable with the script. And then once you feel comfortable with the script, you can change it up and make it your own. But don't leave the principle of the script.
Right.
Okay. So, but a lot of.
Leave in the essential words.
Yeah, and a lot of what you guys will hear me say are scripts. That I have learned over the years and I repeat over and over and over and over again. To clients and to my people. Okay, so we gotta have leads to get appointments. We gotta have appointments to have agreements. We gotta have agreements to get contracts. We gotta have contracts to get to the closing table. And you do wanna know your conversion rate, okay? I tell you guys, it takes 7 phone calls to get a yes, okay, to get an appointment or some other kind of lead, okay? So you're gonna call somebody and you're gonna say, hey, it's Monica Skinner, I just wanna let you know, I went into real estate, I was wondering if you knew anybody that wanted to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And they say, you know what? My brother was thinking about selling his house. Really? Well, that's awesome. Can I get your brother's name and phone number? Can I go, is it okay with you if I go ahead and call him? Okay, don't say, have your brother call me. He's gonna forget. Okay, if he doesn't want to give you the phone number right then and there, well, what's your brother saying? Where does he live? Okay, I can find all kinds of information out, if I got a name, and I got a street name of where he lives, or, I mean, the address is great. Give me a general vicinity. You live in Stone County, you live in Taney County, where's he live? Oh, he lives over there in Cumberland City. Awesome. Stone County GIS. Search for, what's his last name? Okay. Okay. Creeping is a lot easier now than it used to be.
Right.
Okay. But I can tell you that I would go get my oil change and I would say, you know, go get your oil change. You go inside and you get it changed. You go inside. No more of the drive-through, go inside where you can talk to people. I'd go get my oil change, I'd be sitting there talking to somebody. Of course, I have a name badge on, you go, you're in real estate, and you thinking about buying, selling or buying a house market, always get house market. Market's great. Are you thinking about buying or selling real estate? Oh, you know, me and my wife, we've been talking about it, it's been about 6 months, but, you know, we're thinking about doing something, come springtime. She's laughing at me.
The accent, sorry.
Right, now you're doing good.
So I would ask the question, well, where do you and your wife live? Well, they don't always want to give up that information, okay? Well, I live over on, you know, 171st Street. Okay, great. And what was your name? Oh, well, my name's Steve. And of course, I don't want to give you your last name, okay? So I know, well, he lives over off 171st and Mission on 171st Street. I know that area well. I know that Mission Road starts at 3600 and goes to Kenneth Road and it's 2700, so it's somewhere in there.
This is Steve.
And I'm gonna go find me a seat. And I'm gonna put him on my mailing list and I'm gonna send him something. And he's gonna call me up and go, how'd you find me? You're my job, I'm a great real estate agent. just think of how well I'll do when I list your house. Okay. Got it? Okay, so we talked about this. Got a call every day. Gotta keep track of it. We could do all this.
10 of each, right?
Yes, 10. I need you to make 10 phone calls every day. Start with 10. I eventually want you to get up to 2 hours, but I want you to start with 10. 10 phone calls. You should get one yes out of 10 phone calls. And just because you get the yes at number 7, you need to make those other 3 phone calls. Okay? Then we talked about, wow, I did cover all this. Use influencing sales language. So we talked about that, scripts, oh my God. I did way better than I thought I did. Yeah,
Be
read,
comfortable with scripts.
get comfortable
Give
with
yourself
scripts,
scripts.
read them, repeat them, read them, say them over and over again. Do not practice on your clients, practice on people that you know. Call your best friend, call your husband.
Call another
practice-
agent.
Call another agent, get an accountability person, you guys work on scripts together. So I usually say don't practice real estate on your clients. Unless you're your buddies and you know, and they know. But you wanna practice real estate on people that you know. Okay, or practice your scripts on people that you know. And then if you flip over to page 43, 44, there's some scripts for you guys to be able to use to start calling people. And you can keep track of them. We talked about personal notes, thank you notes, sending a thank you note. And you always wanna, once you get done talking to them, you wanna send them a thank you letter. Oh. Build your business. Let's see if I covered everything. In section 2 on page 8. There is a way for you to, be able to, track your database. I will say your database is your livelihood. Your database is like your Bible, okay? Without your database, you have no way of keeping track of people, and keeping in contact with people. So Command is really good. You can take your phone, and you can download your phone into Command. And it will download, huh?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And it will download all your names and contacts into your phone. And I want you to start with that, okay? If you have any kind of database or anything like that, you can import them, into Command. And you can keep track of your, people that way. Who the people are that you want to keep track of. You wanna try to add 10 people to your database every day. If you wanna make $100,000 a year, you need to have 1,900 people in your database. 1,900 people, if you are working your database, 1,900 people will make you 100,000 a year. They did studies on it, researched it, okay? So if you have 1,900 people, you stay in contact, you start them out with an 8x8, you convert them over to a 36 touch, you stay in contact with them, you will gross $100,000 in gross commission.
You lost me at 8x8 and
8x8 and a 36 touch. So an 8x8 is 8 touches in 8 weeks.
okay,
We talked about that one.
right.
Once you do an 8x8, you then want to put them on a 36 touch. Used to be a 33 touch. I don't know why they changed it to 36, but I guess it was because it was easier to take 36 divided by 3.
And we're gonna cover that. There you see.
Yeah, we're gonna cover that in late June. So if you have 1,900 people in your database and you stay in contact with them, okay, in one way, shape or form, you will be able to make $100,000 a year. Minimum. Okay. So on page,
So you don't have to replenish, I mean, don't. Oh, you have to get up to 1,900 and you have to stay in contact with all 1,900 and you don't ever replenish them, or that's just the.
Girl, you wanna make more than 100,000, you can do that.
yeah,
Right,
you're
but I
gonna,
mean,
you're gonna keep adding, you're gonna put them on smart plans. You're gonna set up
but do you,
smart,
once you disqualify, you just mean you gotta have those 1,900 entries. You don't have to stay in touch with all 1,900 of them the whole time, right? You, or you do?
yeah, from time to time, you need to.
Okay,
What's the point of having them in your database if you're not gonna contact them?
right. Well, I don't know if you'd ever, would you disqualify people? I guess
Oh,
not.
yeah, I
because-
used to clean on the database all the time.
Okay, so just, when you disqualify them, you just take them out.
Yeah, I would archive them,
Okay.
so.
So you want 1,900 fresh, good.
Do a
contacts,
1,900 contacts.
not used, worn out ones and all that.
Well, I mean,
That
if
you
I sold
finish them,
somebody a house and they moved to Egypt,
You could take them out,
probably not gonna stay in contact with them because they're in Egypt.
right?
I might drop them a Christmas card,
Right.
or I might,
Right, so you wouldn't take
You
them
know.
totally out.
right,
Any of your customers you would leave in there because they were a customer, right?
yeah,
Or-
because they may decide to move back,
Right, and they're a customer, they can do
Yeah.
referrals and everything else,
yes,
or I mean, they can send you leads, whatever, you know.
yeah. And I might stay in touch with them, hey, how you doing, how's Egypt? Is it hot?
If the dogs like it.
Do the dogs like it? You know anybody that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Oh, your brother's moving to Egypt. Do I need to list his house? Absolutely, I'll be over there on Tuesday.
Do we have a KW office in Egypt?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say we do. Great, okay, they're gonna meet people in Egypt.
Yes.
Still, they're gonna meet
And
friends there.
you can get referrals. Definitely get referrals that way. Speaking of referrals, on page 10, it talks about a referral script.
On page 10,
Yeah. 10, 11, 12. Are all scripts, and then on page 13 talks about handwritten notes. Thank you letters, thank you notes, keep it simple. Okay, we're not writing a novel. We're just writing a thank you card or dropping a little note. Love you guys. Database is your business. I kind of want to pick up on the database and doing, lead gen. On Thursday, if that's okay, because it all kind of goes hand in hand. So are you guys okay with that? Okay, have I overwhelmed you?
this is actually, for me, in this subject, been the most beneficial class I've had so far, and information that I've gotten so far. I don't know why, but I related to this better than anything else that I have, so.
So I've just been like a piece of crap all the other
Oh.
times.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying that anybody's order, and it hasn't just been you, I mean, there's been other, you know,
Yeah,
I've had other people, and I'm not saying that it wasn't great. I'm just saying that, so, you know, it's as far as being able to visualize yourself doing it, because that's a very important thing for me.
yeah,
It's one thing to say, I'm gonna make this a goal, and I'm gonna make myself do it. But it's another thing for it to be conceivable, I could see myself doing it, you know what I'm saying, kind of,
I do.
and actually this. I connected with this better than
And
I don't know,
hopefully.
maybe it's just the day.
Hopefully on Thursday, when we start going through the whole process. It's all gonna
Right.
come together, okay? And light bulb going, and I'm playing. No.
Well, it's the whole theory of you don't know what you don't know.
Correct,
And once you get to the point of knowing everything you don't know, then things kind of change around a little bit, but
yeah,
in the beginning, it's just kind of overwhelming anyway, a little bit.
yeah, no, I know.
And so I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they said it wrong, I'm saying that I wasn't to the point of being able to perceive it right,
Right, yeah,
right? Do you
Yeah.
understand that?
I do. And a lot of times when you start coming to these classes and you don't have your MLS yet, your license isn't back yet.
And you can't, feel like you can't do
You can't
anything,
even
right?
do anything. You know, it's like it all goes in and hey, you get glazed. once you have your license and you have all that, and we start talking about all this stuff, then it makes a lot more sense. And you can actually go start doing it.
Right, because in the beginning, it's all about figuring out everything you need, because there's so much stuff that you needed that you didn't even know you needed. And then you're like, "Well, where's all my stuff? And it's like, what stuff? And I was like, I don't know, shouldn't there be stuff? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, okay, so. Let's get back together on Thursday. And we will pick up a lot of this stuff that is on here. Handwritten notes in your database is gonna go with section 3 on lead gen. So I don't really want to go into it and then start it again. So did you all get something out of this class? I know you did, I appreciate it.
Right.
Maria, did you get something out of the class today? Okay, awesome. Christine, did I teach you anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I know that
It's a good refresher, that's why I always come to these.
yeah, at the very least, I made you help today.
How long have you been?
4 years. I do this like every year, because it's just like you said, you know, you get kind of comfortable, you get into things and stuff, and it's just a good refresher to go, okay, let's get back to the basics.
Right.
Okay.
To not
what are
get
we
sidetracked
doing?
on the
Not
good habits. To have a,
tweak it.
yeah, the grading system.
Yeah, and I will say that all my classes are different. Because everybody has different questions and we talk about different school things.
And you'll do, and you know, you're not like, let's stay on subject or anything. You're pretty good about,
Hold on, yeah, squirrel. Yep, I like squirrels.
well, and it's hard to be sitting here, you know, and you're talking about something that stuff pops in your head, you can't help it. And it's not, I mean, because so then you want to ask questions, it's like, I'll get to that later, but it's in my head now, you know?
And I do try to cover it.
Right, you do. No, you're very good about that.
So, Annie, did you get anything? You're on mute. Can you unmute? Tell me if I helped you at all?
She's not talking to you today. She's not listening to you apparently.
It kind of takes a minute, it's kind of. a delay.
Linda, what about you?
You did good.
Okay,
You mean, I have to pick up the telephone is what I understood.
yes, you have to pick up the telephone and you have to make some phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get a link or an email of the resource that you're referencing, the book that you've got right there?
I'm sorry, what?
Paperwork, email.
Paperwork,
paperwork.
email.
Yeah, if you email, Jan, she will send it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Annie, did you have any questions or?
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom. She had.
No, I didn't. I just forgot to.
Okay, did you
Sorry.
get something out of the class?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I will see you all on Thursday. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being patient with me today, for being late at this KW. I may be
I
late,
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I may be late on Thursday because we have another one of these stupid things, but we'll see. Okay, and we'll go from there. So I'll let you know if that is the case. But thank you all for coming. I appreciate all of you. You guys have a great day.
I got a quick question for you. What do you know about foreclosure and foreclosure auctions?
What do I know about foreclosures?
And foreclosure auctions, like on the courthouse stuff and stuff.
What do you mean by options?
Auctions.
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 Auctions, yeah, like if you bought one off the court. My dad, there was a property that my dad was maybe kind of interested in investing in or whatever, and we've never